How's it, guys? Welcome back to FX Rhapsody. It's weekend again, so more analysis. We're doing analysis this weekend on the British pound, Japanese yen, and we can be looking at the British pound, US dollar. For those of you that's new to my channel, go visit my website. It is on the bottom left corner over here, and also the link is in the description where you can find some nice trading info, trading material, previous analysis, previous strategies that I'm using, and also the COT reports. COT reports we're using for our analysis. And then you can download that COT reports for free on my website on the resource tab. Also, preferred brokers. These guys are absolutely brilliant when it comes to a reliable broker. So please go check them out. So we're going to start off with the British pound, Japanese yen. So all the British pounds, well, most of the markets this week was a bit dismal with all the, the news and everything regarding the Queen. And so let's have a look at what happened in the British pound, Japanese yen. So on a daily time frame, again, just pretty simple, price just being in the range, basically. It's just consolidating in this area. And as you can see on a daily time frame, it has not broken any of these or out of this ranging effect that the market is facing itself in. So we're waiting to see what is going to happen this week or towards the end of the month, where there's definitely some big news coming our way. On the 4-hour time frame, let's just have a look at what happened here. So we had a nice push, obviously, to the upside. If we look at the daily time frame, it was at the bottom, so we're expecting a push, seeing it that is in a daily or in a range, as we could say. So we could see this nice little structure being broken over here. Okay, so with the structure, you can see that there was a couple of fair value gaps, but the one that obviously stood out and the one where you could see price pulling back to is as price goes up, you start highlighting these areas. Just earmark these areas in the market, and as you can see, price going up and all the way retracing all the way back just on that or into that fair value gap. And now we see price ending the week basically just not breaking that area, just hovering around that area in the markets. But again, price pulling towards those areas that we earmark, those fair value gaps. It's always there. Price action will pull towards those areas. So on an hourly time frame, what we can see is we had our previous analysis, and we ended off our previous analysis like we always do, just highlighting areas in the market that we're looking at, and looking at any break of structure or any form of Fibonacci retracements or whatever. So we could see that price broke this area to the upside, right? So then price started consolidating again, as you could see. Okay, so with that consolidation, this is the time that you start and you wait for any form of break and any form of retracement. So what we saw is, and it was a clear little break in the market, so it was right about here. I'm just going to highlight this area. You can highlight this as much as you want to, but I mean, you could see clearly that was the break, that was a push downwards, and then with that break, you could see a nice little fair value gap forming in the markets, as you could see there. For those of you that's not familiar with the fair value gap, I have made countless of videos around regarding it. I talk about it every time in my analysis. So just go watch my previous videos. So you have a break in structure, you have a fair value gap that forms, price going down, retracing on the way or all the way to that fair value gap, and that is the area that you place your sells. Okay, so that is the area that you place your sell, and you see price falling to the downside. So if you did sell on that area, I mean, there you go. You could have been a nice 200 odd pips down, almost 300 pips profit for this week just on GBPJPY. Okay, so now what happened is price going down, and as we saw on the 4-hour time frame, we could see price just hovering in that area. So this is the area that we're going to highlight. We want to see any form of break of structure on this area. So this is again a little bit of a ranging area in the market that we see price in. Okay, so price is ranging. It just finished the week off in that area. So I'm just going to do that. So I'm highlighting my highs and I'm highlighting my lows. So I would like to see price breaking anything. So we have liquidity on both sides, on the top and the bottom. So price just in between those areas. Which way is price going to take liquidity out? Only time will tell. If we look at our COT reports, we're looking at the Japanese yen. So the Japanese yen is very weak. I mean, it closed negatives. It closed a lot of longs, excuse me, and opened a lot of shorts. So it went from a negative 41 to a negative 80,000. So a nice dip in the market, okay, for the Japanese yen. And then the British pound as well, you could see, you know, also a lot of longs being closed and shorts being opened in the market. So also forming that nice dip. So you get that, you know, on a daily time frame. As soon as it heads up, it heads down. So it's a big fight between the Japanese yen and the British pound. Which currency is going to, you know, take the win basically, and then follow suit on the upside or on the downside. So we just have to wait and see what's going to happen towards, you know, next week, towards the end of next week. Let's see if there's any big news coming out. Okay, so let us move on to our next currency pair, which will be our British pound US dollar. Okay, so we're going to start off again on the daily time frame. We're doing top-down analysis, working from the daily all the way down to the hourly time frame. Okay, so this is just obviously, you know, to get the bigger picture. So on a daily time frame, I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. Okay, let me just show you. Where's my chart? There we go. So just zooming out, I can do this on a monthly, but I'm just going to show you on a daily. So there we go. So as we can see, there is our previous low, okay, on a daily time frame. That was a long time ago. I'll show you now. So we're looking at April 2020, March 2020. Okay, that was a low that was formed in the market, and as we could see, okay, price coming in. And basically, I just want to highlight, there we go. That was our low. So price just tapping in on that low on the daily time frame, rejecting that area, going up, and now it broke that area. So taking out the liquidity. So we had lots of liquidity down there, especially, you know, there's always going to be liquidity on that low because that was where price got bought up. So there was lots of liquidity lying there. And eventually, after basically more than 2 years, price came and tapped into that liquidity. So there's always, you know, price will always hunt areas in the market. So that low was tapped in, broken, coming back, you know, and just hovering above that area. Okay, so now we want to see, will price from here on carry on up, or is price going to continue downwards? Okay, so we'll have to have a look and see. So if you look at a 4-hour time frame, again, you know, not a lot happening, you know, this week on this currency pairs, lots of ups and downs, but I mean, there we go. So we have that low, like we just saw. That was our low, broken. That was our previous, you know, closer to home low. So that broke, and now price just retracing back up onto it, just closing above that for the week, above our previous low. Then moving down to the hourly time frame. Again, you know, just not a lot of opportunities actually in this pair. I was watching it this week, and you know, you could have a lot. You could have gotten a couple of opportunities when you scroll down to your lower time frames. But I mean, on a high time frame, we had our previous analysis. Okay, price broke above it. Then again, similar to the British pound, Japanese yen, it started consolidating, and then a nice break in the market. Okay, so that's a big, obviously the big push. And we all know what happened there and the reason for that. So then there was this area here. I'm just going to highlight this area, okay, because this is the area of the fair value gap. But I mean, this gap was so massive. Okay, there was a massive gap. Drill down to your lower time frames, you could see a smaller area that you could have earmarked. But I mean, prices coming in and tapping into that area. Okay, that's the reason I'm making that. So there was just an area that it tapped in, and from there onwards, it went down. Again, very similar to our British pound, Japanese yen. So opportunities you could have gotten on lower time frames, but now we're starting to wait towards the obviously the end of the week. Again, you know, just consolidating in this area. You know, it is just building up. Something is going to happen, so we need to see what price is going to do when it, you know, breaks this area in the market. So this is time will tell again. So we're going to eye mark this area, mark it out in your chart to see if there's any break of structure, any retracement on the fair value gap, or the Fibonacci. Those two strategies or methods of trading I use. And, you know, from there on, we just catch the pips, be it up, be it down. So let's just have a look at our, before we go, our British pound again. But we saw that a lot of longs being closed in the market, shorts being opened. So, you know, that nice push, and that's the reason we saw this downwards movement in the British pound this week. Okay, so that's all from my side. I hope, you know, you enjoyed this analysis. And if you did, don't forget to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, the notification bell. There's definitely more analysis video coming your way this weekend. So guys, I hope you've been having a wonderful weekend. Stay safe and happy trading, guys.